to my channel. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Reading Lounge, where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. Welcome to all of my new subscribers and viewers. I do encourage you to subscribe down below if you're interested in bookish content. I read a variety of things. So this is going to be the vlog that I mentioned when I did my August TBR. I'm starting off this vlog reading this, Beverly Jenkins, the third book in the Old West series. So this is the last book. And so right now I'm on page 28 and already starting off with my head like bird in this book. It started off with excitement, some pew pew. So I'm going to continue reading and hopefully I can make it to chapter 3. The next book that I'll be reading after I read this, I am going to go ahead and dive into Let Us Descend by Jasmine Ward. This is the author of Sing Unburied Sing, also Men Read. Hey y'all, so I just got off work and I'm eager to read my book, Tempest Beverly Jenkins. I am going to read 2 books at a time. This one, and I think I'm going to start Let Us Descend. However, there is a dilemma. I'm not going to be able to read as much as I would like tonight because it's already like almost 7 o'clock and I've got to make a run. And I want to kind of meal prep for at least tomorrow because I have to make a short trip out of town. Also, The Gilded Age is coming on. I finally got back into that. And so now I'm all caught up. So not going to be reading as much as I've wanted to. My goal is to get to at least chapter 6 in this book. And then I'm going to go from there. So let's talk a little bit about this book. Book number 3, the last book in the Old West series. So this follows a young lady, which is the niece of the main character in book number 1. We meet her as a little girl in book number 1. This is her story. Her name is Reagan. Book number 2 was all about Portia, her sister's story. So now we're following Reagan. Reagan is all grown up, and Reagan, just like Portia, is headstrong. She's a headstrong young woman. Beverly Jenkins writes her female characters. So far, it has not been one book that I have read from her, and this is the 5th book that I'm reading, where the female main character is very headstrong, independent Black woman, okay? So she has decided to become a mail order bride. Now, I didn't even think that that was a thing or know that that was a thing. One thing about Miss Beverly, like I said, she's going to incorporate some history. And I really don't think that she would be making that up unless that was a thing. So I'm going to look it up to see if it was a thing. So she's decided or agreed to be this man in a different territory, wife. He lost his wife. He's got a little girl. And so he's expecting his bride to be just almost like his, or he's wanting, I should say, his bride to be similar to his wife, which is already starting off bad, right? If he's, expecting one thing and then when she arrives, she is like totally opposite. Speaks her mind, headstrong. She wears blue jeans. She's digging up grass in the barn or whatever. She's handy. That is how she was raised. So she's not a stranger to hard work. Can put on a pair of blue jeans and get up on a roof and help you put a roof on it. And so that is pretty much where this story is right now. Now, like I said, it opened up. This is not a spoiler because it's on the back. It opened up with her shooting him in the shoulder. I won't go into details how that happened, but something happens and she ended up shooting him in the shoulder. So already he's kind of bitter and upset, like, what in the world kind of woman am I marrying here? And so, yeah, that's where we are in the book. She's arrived. She's met some of his family. And so he's just kind of feeling her out to see if he wants to proceed. I'm on my way to get on the road. I packed up my 2 books and I'm going to be reading. Got them in my my little book sleeve. It's dirty because I spilled coffee on it, so I need to get another one. And then we're going to be hitting the road. And then I thought I would take these books as I go along the highway. I'm driving to Virginia. I am going to be donating them to a little free library, because a little free library that is in my neighborhood is in front of a high school. When I looked the other day, it was packed. It was packed full of books, so it doesn't have any more room. So that's what I thought would be a neat idea for me to do, to just, as I coast along the highway, to visit little free libraries and fill them up with these books. It's a lot of them, so I might not be able to take all of them, but we'll see. These are the last 2 of them, so it is a lot of them. So I'm gonna put them in a bag. Hey y'all, so I am back. I wanted to give you a brief update of my reading since I've been out of town. And honestly, I really have had only a few moments, and excuse me for me whispering, the house is still sleeping and I'm getting ready to drive back home. Like I was saying, I've only had a few moments, this morning being one moment, and then yesterday before I got up for the day being the second moment to actually sit down and read, because I took care of some business, some unpleasant business at my house down here that I had to see to. And that took longer than expected, actually. And yeah, only had 2 moments to read, but I did finally make it to chapter 6 this morning of Tempest, the 3rd book in the Old West series, Beverly Jenkins. And so far, Portia, the mail order bride, has met her hubby-to-be, Colt. He's a doctor in a local town, and the town and also the doctor were kind of skeptical, you know, if she was the right one for the doctor, and he was, you know, questioning his choice as well. Well, the decision was made whether he wanted Portia Reagan as a bride. I think I said Portia, but her name is Reagan. Reagan as a bride. And so I'm looking forward to where this book is going to go from here. Enjoying it so far, and I think I'm on page 85, so most definitely I'm going to make it to a page 100 today at least. Then I did start Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward. So far I'm only on chapter 1. I'm on page, I don't think did I put my bookmark? Yeah, I'm only on page 8, so not very far at all. And if you've read anything from Jesmyn Ward, she's very her prose is very lyrical, poetic, descriptive. You have to come in with a clear mind when you read her books. I want to say she's almost similar. I haven't read anything by Toni Morrison, but I have read enough to know what her writing is like. And her writing is similar to that of Toni Morrison. So opening up this book, there's a scene. I had to read it a few times to make sure that I was understanding what is happening in the book. That is something that happens frequently in her books. I was able to get a copy of this book on audio. I haven't started it yet, but I do have a 5-hour drive. But I'm not so sure how this is going to work, me listening to this book, because usually when the writing is like this, I need to have my eyes on the page. But already it's good, and I haven't even made it out of chapter 1. It's I would say not easy reading though, because you do have to think about what is being written on the page. Yeah, those are my initial thoughts about the opening of this book. Very good so far. I thought I would give you an update as to dropping the books off that I have to donate to the free libraries while I'm on this road trip. And I attempted to do so because of where I live is a lot of country towns, and honestly, I really didn't feel comfortable dropping off my books in those towns. So I chose to keep driving, okay? Keep driving. And so now I'm on my way back home, and I'm in more like the city area, so hopefully I can find maybe 2 little free libraries that are like on the way, because right after I get back I have a personal training session that I've got to get to at 4:30. So hopefully, it's not off the beaten path and we can get it done while I'm on this trip. If not, I'll just have to find some little free libraries to donate the books to in my local area. All right, so let's see what we can find on the little free library app that I did download. Okay, y'all, so I found the location. It's the perfect location. However, let's just pray we don't get shot trying to put these books, okay, in here. The sun does shine, The Good Negress, and The Wife Before. I'm gonna try my best to get this on camera and jump back in this car because, yeah. Okay, y'all, so that was the most nerve-wracking thing I have ever done, because I don't know this area, and there was like an old man sitting on the porch watching me. I feel like, it was in as you can see, a house, a yard, which, made me a little uncomfortable, but I feel good about doing it because this like is the perfect area where I wanted to drop my books off at. So now let's go ahead and head on the road. I don't know if I'll try to find another one, because like I said, I have a personal training session that will start at 4:30, and because I have not worked out this whole week because I've been away, we really got to make it to our get our fitness workout in. Okay, so this is the second stop, finding a little free library, and I am in Durham. I'm in Durham, North Carolina. I'm not exactly sure what type of neighborhood this is. It might be a mixed neighborhood, so that's good. I really wanted to put my books where the books will be appreciated, and so I've got Lucky. This is by Rachel Edwards. I read this like in the early part of the year. It was okay. Then I've got Robert Heinlein, The Door into Summer. This was the book that Thrift Books accidentally sent me, so I thought I would go ahead and put it in the free library. And then I'm going to be giving this book away. This is J. California Cooper, The Future Has a Past. Should I give this away? I already have a copy of it. Yeah, so we're gonna put this in the free library, and it's a small one too, so let's go ahead and walk on over there and see what it's all about. So I feel really good about what I did. I donated my books to 2 free little libraries. I've got 2 books, Malcolm X and then Stamped from the Beginning. I want to donate those books to the high school, give the young people a chance to read about Malcolm X and Stamped from the Beginning, because I really feel passionate about young people not forgetting where they came from, learning all history, not just certain parts of history, but Black American history is American history. And so I'm going to give those to the free library that's near a high school. So I had to come and give you an update. Beverly Jenkins, Tempest, steamy, okay? Steamy. Now, I've gotten to my first love scene, and of course all her books are steamy, so that's not a spoiler. Just expect some steam and heat going into Miss Beverly Jenkins. However, there's no love match, because this was an arranged marriage. So it's purely a physical act at this moment. And y'all, I had to stop reading the book because I had something else to do, and I can't wait to pick it up. Let's just say that, okay? I cannot wait to get back into that scene. Hey y'all, so it is a new day. It's early in the morning. What I've been trying to do lately is get up early and get my workout on. So I've only worked out twice this week because I was out of town. Yeah, so gotta get it in. Anyway, I wanted to come really quick before I start my workouts to tell you about Let Us Descend. So I have made it to chapter 3. I woke up early this morning and read a little bit. And I am really enjoying the book still. I would say right off the bat, of course, because of what type of book this is. It's a slave narrative told in literary fiction form regarding a young girl on a rice plantation in the Carolinas. Something tragic has happened, which if you've read these type of books, you could probably imagine what I'm talking about. And we're just going along with her journey because now she's on a different type of journey. So reading this book, I listened to this book, the first chapter I read. The second chapter on my way back home, I listened to on audio. And the third chapter? No, the first chapter, yeah, I read partially, and then I finished it up on audio on my way back home. So I read chapter 2, and now I am starting chapter 3. Both listening and reading, you can definitely feel like the heaviness, like the weight, okay? The author narrates this herself, and the way she is narrating it is perfect for what this type of story is. You definitely have to get your mind right before reading this book. I'm enjoying the storytelling. It's all about the storytelling. It's taking a little bit, but no pressure. So it's been a few days since my last little clip, and I thought I would come in to give you an update of how my TBR is going. But this one is dragging a little bit because I knew this going in that this was going to be a heavy book, and I felt like I was in the right headspace. I don't have anything, too depressing going on at this moment. So I felt like I was in a good headspace, which I am still, but I wasn't expecting how heavy this book is. Like the whole atmosphere, the whole setting of the book, just reading the book, it's almost like immersing myself into the story, and it is weighing me down, y'all. It's weighing me down. So I had to put it down. I don't think I read any of this book yesterday, but I did read this book. Still interested in it, but it's just taking me a lot longer to catch up. But we're still pushing through. I do want to finish these 2 books by the end of the week and see what we can do for the rest of the month. But this is a real reflection of my life and like how fast I read based on, different things that's going on in my life. Wanting to read the book, wanting to pick up the book. Just, it is what it is. So finally finished my first Beverly Jenkins book series, and I brought all the books out to show. This is book number 1, Forbidden. This got 5 stars from me. Focuses on Ryan and Edie. Beautiful, beautiful love story. And then we've got Breathless. This focuses on Portia and her beau. And then this is a book, I finally finished the 3rd book in the Old West series, which focused on Reagan and her love story. So having finished this book, what do we think about this book? All right, so I definitely will say this is my least favorite, although I like the book. It was my least favorite out of the 3 in the series. I am going to rate this a 3.5. Let me tell you, that's still a good rating. It was still a good story. However, I just felt like I did not believe in the romance. I think Beverly Jenkins did a great job with allowing the readers to feel the disconnect between her and her beau Colt, her husband Colt. She was a mail order bride. And initially when, there was a love scene, I felt, like I said in the previous clip, I felt that it was just purely physical. Their husband and wife, they consummated their marriage by having sex, okay? That's all it was. And I felt that I didn't feel any chemistry between the 2 characters or anything. It was just sex. And unfortunately, that's how I felt throughout the book. Like that connection never reigned true to me. It just felt like they were in a marriage of convenience. Unfortunately, I did enjoy my time with this book. Now, it was a few parts of the book like toward the end that got a little boring when it was talking about the historical events. I did look it up, and those were things that really happened. So I do always appreciate that. I still recommend this series. This series to me is a 4.5. Let me show you what I'll be reading next. So I'm going to be reading Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let Go. It's about time. I am probably the last one on the internet that have not read this book, and so I'm just going to go ahead and break down and read this book. I'm very eager to see how she writes. A lot of people love her, and so I want to see how I feel about it, if it's gonna hold true for me. And then this is a library book, you guys. This is called My Husband by Maud Ventura. And I wanna read some of my library books because I have just been checking out books and not getting them read. This is not part of my summer TBR, but I'm still going to sneak it in. I'm still gonna sneak this book in and read it. I don't know if it'll be like the next book after I finish this because we're still reading this, okay? I haven't gotten any further with this book, but I don't know. This one may be the next one, and then we'll see. Okay, y'all, so I have made a executive decision because my reading is not going like I really want it to. And not saying that I'm in a rush to get these books done, but I do want to, read these books because I just do. I really do. I want to get through some of these books. So I've made the executive decision to Soft DNF Let Us Descend by Jasmine Ward. Not that it's not a bad book. It's just heavy, y'all. It's just really heavy, and I think it was not a smart idea. Well, I didn't know it was going to be this heavy. Of course, I knew it was going to be historical fiction, slave narrative, and all that. But I did not know the tone of the book would be so freaking heavy, y'all. It's weighing me down. It's weighing me down. And so I am going to soft DNF this until the end of the month. I don't want to rush through this one. I want to give this book its proper time. And so I'm going ahead and saving that for the end of the month because I don't want to get in a book slump right at the beginning and then I get nothing done. So we're going to pick up Kennedy Ryan. We're going to be reading Kennedy Ryan Before I Let Go. Yeah, so I'm excited to finally be getting into this book to see how I'm going to feel about this book. Author's note, because this is my first read from her. Let me go ahead and read this. So I really am glad that I read the author's note. That some of these themes in the book are real lived experiences, maybe close friends or something like that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and read chapter 1. Okay, so let's talk about first impressions of the 2 new books that I am now reading, which is Before I Let Go, as you saw in the previous clip. I picked this up after putting down or soft DNFing Let Us Descend. So I read the first chapter, and then this morning, right before, just now, I actually started My Husband by Maud Ventura. So which one has me more captivated? Initially, first impressions goes to this book right here. So I'm going to start with this book right here. So this is a different type of book. This is a library book, by the way. But anyway, so I don't remember how I came across this book. So I went ahead and checked it out, started it just now, this morning. And y'all, oh my God, I'm having such a good time with this book. This is so odd and weird. So let me tell you a little bit about it. First, let me read the back to you. So it says, on the most daring, provocative, you know what? I'm not even going to read the back. I'm just going to give you my first impressions of where this book is going in my own thoughts. Because I like to kind of form my own thoughts and opinions without kind of being influenced by the premise to see if I'm, on track with what the book is about. So it's about, I don't even know the lady's name. It's about a lady who's obsessed with her husband. She's so obsessed with her husband that she's kind of secretly within closed doors stalks like his every move. And I think the true reason why she's doing that is because she's afraid that he will leave her. So she's doing things like weird things to make her seem more appealing to him versus showing her true self, right? Like, for instance, she is obsessed with the fact that he comes home every day. So she does these things, crazy things, thinking that he will see her as this, I don't know, this wonderful woman who is so refined. Yeah. That he'll never leave her. And so, yeah, she just is obsessed with his every like weird movement. Now, because this is such a unique type premise, it's very intriguing. That's a perfect word. It's very intriguing because it's making me want to read more. So I'm already on chapter 6, y'all. I'm already on chapter 6, and I literally just started this maybe 30 minutes ago. So as you can see, it's a very short book. It only has about 260 pages. I'm already on not even 256 pages, and I'm already on chapter 6. So it's going by really quick. The chapters are really short, and it's just a really, I don't want to say it's fun, but a very quirky type. It seems to be, the feel of the book seems to be kind of quirky and like a psychological, literary / contemporary fiction that I'm enjoying so far. So those are my thoughts. Now I'm going to read the back to see if I was kind of like on point with that. So one of the most daring, provocative, unnerving, intimate thrillers. Okay, so this is a thriller, y'all. Wow. So I'm going to read to you a passage that just made me kind of laugh out loud, because I was like, absolutely not. Okay, so it says, but my life before doesn't concern him. So I'm not going to give you the context behind this. I'm just going to read this passage because no spoilers over here, okay? But my life before doesn't concern him. I don't have to tell him everything. The couples that last are the ones that keep the mystery alive. So my first impression after reading that was, really? I don't think so. Like, that is one of the most annoying things, like, in a relationship, is having to guess or having this mysterious element about this person and not knowing. Yeah, no. However, that passage kind of sums up like what I just said about the book, right? Like, she's trying to appear mysterious to him, or somebody that he thinks that she is but really isn't. I think that's where it's going. So I'm going to read the sleeve now to see if I'm on track. So it says, at 40 years old, she has an inevitable life, stunning looks, a beautiful house in the suburbs, a job she likes, 2 healthy children, and the most important, an ideal husband whose wealthy background allows her to transcend her own social class. After 15 years together, she is still besotted with him, but she's never quite sure whether her passion is reciprocated. Determined to keep their relationship perfect, she meticulously prepares for every encounter they have, always taking care to make her actions seem effortless. She watches him intensively, charting every mistake and punishing him accordingly to help him improve. As she tests him, setting traps to make sure that he still loves her just as much as he did when they first met, until one day she realizes she may have gone too far. Y'all, I was on point. Yeah, loving this book so far, and I could see myself reading this if I had time. I don't know if I'm going to have time today, because today is the last day I have off before I go back to work. I anticipate reading this within 2 days. All right, and so let's talk about this book, Before I Let Go, Kennedy Ryan. So I read the first chapter, and was it as easy? Now, this is 2 different books. This is more like a literary, contemporary type women's fiction. This is a contemporary romance. So it's 2 different books, but it didn't like capture me as much as this book did. Like in the first chapter, So first impressions of this book is that I'm learning about Josiah and what's the female's name? Josiah and Yasmin. Apparently they have, I will be giving spoilers because I'm the only one left in the internet universe that hasn't read this book. It opens up with them meeting at a restaurant. Yasmin is dropping the kids or the children, they have two children, off at the restaurant that they still are partners of, but they are newly, I'm not sure if they're newly divorced, how long they've been divorced. I think it's kind of fresh. So having said that, since it's fresh, wounds are still healing, I guess I would say. Her wounds are still healing because so far, I think I've only heard, Yasmin. It started off with Yasmin's point of view in chapter 2. Let's see, chapter 1 was, Yasmin 2. So we're just hearing her point of view right now. I'm not sure if this is going to be a dual point of view. I'll leave that to further reading. So the wounds are still healing, and she's kind of like reminiscent of what used to be in their interactions now, and cringing inside like when she sees him, and just reflecting on what they used to have. So I really don't have any thoughts other than that. So we'll continue to get into this. We'll see how far we get into this. Let's talk about what I think about the first 3 chapters, because I'm now on chapter 4 of Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So like I said, I am going to be giving spoilers in this video. So if you have not read this book, you might want to be skipping right about now, because I am going to be giving spoilers. So like I said before, Yasmin's wounds are not healed just yet. And I just read her divorce was final 2 years ago. So they have been divorced 2 years. Doesn't look like she's gone for any counseling that I know of. It may come up later in the book, but right now I don't think I remember reading anything like that. Now they are in a unique situation, which I really don't think is a good idea in real life. Her husband and her are co-parenting, but not only co-parenting, but they are both co-owners of a restaurant. So they're in business together. And I just don't think that makes sense in real life. In this book, it just does not. To me, it doesn't work. It's just too many conflicting feelings, I feel. She's got too many conflicting feelings. She thinks that she's over him, but then it'll be moments in the book where she will see him with someone else, which is another issue that I have, or a problem. Like, he's dating not the sous chef, but the main chef, okay, of the restaurant. He is now seeing the main chef, and the chef is mingling or getting close with the kids. And she's like on the outside looking into this. Like, I mean, I don't think that's okay. It's not a good idea. I would not mix business with old pleasure, because there was history there once, and it's just reminding her of what they had in the past. So it's almost like you can't heal, because he's always there, and then he's flaunting this new person in your face that you have to work with. You have your own thoughts when you lay in bed at night thinking about what they may be doing. So I don't feel like she can heal with this present situation going on. It's, to me, sell half the restaurant or whatever and start again. So those are my thoughts right now about this book, which makes the book very complex, right? I am liking the book so far. Only 3 chapters in. It took me a minute, because this is my second romance to kind of really immerse myself in the book. because I just read Beverly Jenkins romance novels, and this just solidifies the fact that I cannot be reading a whole lot of romances back to back, because I'm already getting tired of reading romances. Okay, but since this one is just not giving it to me 100%, I have started 2 other books that were not even on my radar, not even on my TBR, and yeah, they're good. They're good. They're both page turners. So before I head out to get my 10,000 steps in, I wanted to quickly give you a rundown because it's nearing the end of the month. I'll start with the first book that I am on the brink of finishing. So I started this book on audio, and I will finish it on audio. I'm going to listen to the last 30 minutes of it as I walk this morning. And that book is Yellowface. So I don't know if I mentioned this book by name. I did mention, or I remember mentioning briefly in an earlier clip, that I was reading something that was unusual, that I'd tell you guys about it later. Well, this is the book. Not sure how this came up on my radar. I saw it somewhere. Maybe I think I was scrolling Libby of audiobooks to check out, and this one may have popped up. Went into this pretty blind, and y'all, from the minute I started listening to this book, page turner, okay, page turner. So very surprising, because this is not a book that I would typically pick up, and being that I went into it blind made it even more a fun time, because I knew nothing about this book. So I do have the physical copy, because this book, I will tell you what my rating is later. I loved it so much, and I hadn't even finished it, that I had to have my own copy. But then, you know, this morning I was thinking, I said, you know what? Even though I like this book, do I need to have a copy of it? So I don't know. I may or may not send this book back, y'all. But yeah, this is Yellowface, and this is what I've been reading. Now, I've been reading these books mostly for a long time, picking them up, putting them down, picking them up, because my priority right now is my health and my fitness. I am working out 6 times a week. I have a personal trainer. I have embraced self-care and all the benefits that come with that. I have visited my family, spending more time with my family. I'll have it's not a 9 to 5. I work untraditional hours, but I work very long shifts. I work a 13-hour shift yesterday, and I did not get a chance to work out. So I'm doing a double workout today. I'm going out for a walk, and then I'm going to come and rest, read a little bit more, and then I'm going back out to the gym to do my strength training and my fat burn. Okay, that's how serious I am about my fitness journey. And then I am still reading Kennedy Ryan Before I Let Go. I am on page 123, and I would say this so far for me is taking more time for me to get through. I gotta be honest, this is not really, exciting me, but I don't know. We'll see how far I get with this. Still on page 90, chapter 5. I'm reading this physically with my eyes, because you have to with her books. We'll see how far we go. And then the other book that y'all have been excited about is this book. Not in my radar, not on my plans. My Husband by Maud Ventura. This book, y'all, this book. Okay, yes. Everything that I've ever wanted in a literary, get this, I call this a literary, psychological, literary thriller. Yeah. Such a good book that I'm going to get my own physical copy. I will tell you more about these books when I finish them. All right, so we're going to head out and get our 10,000 steps in while listening to Yellowface. Hey y'all, so I'm out getting my 10,000 steps in, and I'm getting ready to listen to R.F. Kuang's Yellowface. And so we'll be finishing that book up in about 38 minutes. So there is a little free library right down there in front of a high school. So we're gonna see what type of books they have in there while we're out on this little scroll. Let's see. Oh, some Judy Blume. Untouchable. Oops. So I have finished Yellowface. 5 stars. That book was so good from the beginning to the end. 5 stars. So stay tuned for all my thoughts of all the books that I have read in August. As you can see, I'm out of breath because I'm like almost 3.56 miles in. So I have finished My Husband by Maud Ventura. I finished this actually last night. And y'all, it was such a good book. It was such a good book. I'm not gonna go into details in this video. Stay tuned to my video that I normally do talking about all the books that I have read lately. But yeah, I'm in between ratings. Initially, I want to rate this a 5 star just because it was such a different book. It was surprising. I feel like that element of surprise is enough to give this a 5 star for me, because just know that this was a top book for me in the month of August. Finish this up, and I do believe I could probably finish this up today. Now, I still have a lot to do today. Yeah, I had a death in the family, so I will be going home to be with my family. Having a death in the family was out of the blue. Like I keep saying, this is a accurate and true reflection of just life in general. I'm gonna pick the rest up on audio. So we'll see how that goes. You know, hopefully that goes well, because I'm just gonna be cleaning. Let Us Descend by Jasmine Ward. I finished this on yesterday. And let me just say that I'm glad that I put this down when I did, because the book was extremely heavy. And so when I came back into this book, I felt like I was ready to plow right through it, even though I did not plow right through this book, because Jasmine Ward, her writing is heavy because of the topics that she writes about in her books. So she writes a lot about grief and death and losing people for unjust reasons related to poverty, of course, mistreatment of Black people, and things of that nature. So this book, of course, dealt with slavery, and so it was even heavier, I would say. And at the end of the book, I'm kind of glad, like I said, I saved this to the end because it got even heavier because she was dealing with and speaking to spirits. So yeah, so that was a bit much. That was a bit much for me. So in order to stay in the book, I had to read the passages over and over again, just to make sure that I was picking up what she was trying to put down, okay? Now I'm kind of like in between books. I'm still at 123 pages with Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let Go, maybe 40% on page 123. So we'll see. Hey y'all, so I am currently in Virginia right now. Like I said in my previous clip, I had a death in my family, and so I had to unexpectedly travel back home. Home is Virginia, to be with my family, to support them. I really didn't have time to read, of course. I thought I was going to have time today, and I may still have time to read. Later on, like at night, I still am on page 123 of Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. We're going to try to finish it up. Not that I'm in a rush, but I do want to finish it up. I do want to finish that book up because even though it's not a page turner and I'm not really invested right now in the story, I'm sure it's going to get better. Like I said, 123 pages in. It was a lot of background information, learning about the characters. And yeah, I need to give it more time. So I'm going to give it more time. Your girl's going to get her workout in. I'm putting and giving my all into my health and my fitness. No excuses. Not even when I'm traveling. We have no time for excuses. No, we don't. First going to apologize how I look right now because I know I look crazy, but I am literally getting ready to go to bed. And I wanted to give an update on my reading of Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So I started this late tonight because I was distracted by other things, and I made it to chapter 14. So I'm on page 134. Excuse me, 134. And I just finished reading Josiah's part. His part was actually very telling. He pretty much told, and I'm assuming that he's talking to his counselor because he has decided to go to counseling. Again, spoilers, okay? Spoilers, okay? He has decided to go to counseling, which he's only doing to kind of like model for his son because his son needs to go to counseling. So he went to counseling on the basis that he was just going. He wasn't going to be serious about it. Well, he's actually starting to open up to the counselor. And that's very refreshing to see because in real life, now she did say that this was partly true, made up of real life experiences or taken from real life experiences. So that is very refreshing to see that a man is willing to go to counseling because a lot of men are still resistant to that. So I really do appreciate that. And I find that I am enjoying where I left off with Josiah's part more than I have been Yasmin's part because her point of view has involved like her friends and the chatter and banter and her Hendrix, I think. It's one of her friends. I don't remember who it was, but I think it's Hendrix. She's like the outspoken one, so she's always making jokes and stuff like that. And I gotta be honest, that was annoying me. It was kind of annoying me. I was ready to get to the nitty and gritty itty gritty, the meat, okay, the meat of Josiah and Yasmin's story, all that joking around and chattering and stuff like that. I just kind of, it got kind of old quick. So far, I'm, having read this last chapter, I'm finding the book to be kind of taken off. So hopefully it still goes in that direction. I don't mind side characters and things like that. But right now they're just kind of like distracting the story. I do think this is relatable because, I have friends too, and we have fun conversations, but a lot of serious conversations um, too. So I don't really think that I have encountered so far where the two friends, Yasmin's two friends, and her have had like serious girl talk, conversation. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But anyway, so that's where I am in this book. It does not look like I'm going to be able to finish this book before the end of the month. But guess what? I don't care because it's not all about that. My thing is that I paid for the books. I kind of think that it's wasteful not to be reading the books that I have purchased. So that was the whole point of me making this TBR, is to discover some new authors, read some different genres, find a good romance, contemporary romance author that I can read like as a palate cleanser or when I'm ready for romances. And so, having said that, I am happy with how this month has gone. And I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog right here because this vlog is going to be so long. If you stay to the very end, I see you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you because I really did make an effort to make sure that I picked up the camera while I was reading and gave you an update. Like, this was like a whole month long vlog of realistically of me reading what I can, um, along with the other things that I have going on right now. As you saw, it was a lot. It was a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a heart emoji if you made it to the very end of this video. Leave feedback down below because I love reading your comments and engaging with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care and be blessed. I will be doing a video shortly of all the books I have read, like recent reads. And I'm going to finish this one, so this one will be included in that.